Hi, I'm Laura, and today you join me on another 10-minute video where we're going to be looking at releasing the shoulders and the back. So we're just really going to focus on this area for the next 10 minutes, just trying to open everything up. So it could be if you find within a day you get really slouchy, if you sit at a desk for a long time, which most of us do on some days in the week, it just really opens you out. So all you're going to need today is your mat, and if you have like a particularly stiff area, like shoulder area, then you may just want like something like a strap, but it could be, this is like a yoga strap. You could use a tie, you could use a towel, just anything you've got to hand that might just give you a little bit more support. So sorry if the wind is a bit too windy today, but we'll see how we get on, and you can just join me on the mat. Okay, so once you're ready, you can always start today's video with the warm-up video if you feel like you kind of really want to work that area first before you move into it, if you perhaps particularly have any sort of strains or any troubles in that area. If not, you should be fine with just moving into today's video. Everything's going to be quite nice and gentle for you. So in your own time, I just want you to come onto all fours, onto our table position. So the hands are just going to be under the shoulders, and the knees just want to be directly over the hips. And from here we're just going to roll into a few cat-cows. So a nice inhale is going to curl the spine, looking all the way up, really opening the shoulders and pushing away from the mat. And the exhale is going to curl everything over, lifting all the way down between the legs and really feeling the stretch in the top of the neck. Big inhale is going to take you all the way up. And a nice big easy exhale curls your way around. I'm just going to go for some like this, but just feel free to move where it feels good. So you may feel like you want to kind of curl the back, maybe move the bottom a little bit. Exhale maybe brings you all the way up, maybe leaning forward. And exhale might curl you all the way back. Just decide today what feels good for your back. As long as you've got this big inhale to curl everything. Nice easy exhales, releasing that back. A few more like that, just in your own time. Just one more like this. Big inhale. And exhale. That's great. And from here we can just roll down into our child's pose. So the bottom is just going to come towards the feet, and the hands can stretch out just a little bit more. If this feels a bit too tight for your shoulders already, you can always stack the fists, and you're just going to rest the head down here. That's really good as well if you have any blood pressure issues, because it just means your head's not going to go all the way down. So either come into this pose, or if you can, stretching those arms out, the head's going to come down to the mat and just release the shoulders like this. Nice, big, easy breaths. Again, if you feel like there's any movement in the body, just go towards it. Don't feel like you need to be really rigid and stuck with what you're doing. One more big breath here. So your next inhale, we're just going to bring everything back up into our table position. And we're going to stretch the tops of the shoulders. So for this we'll start with the left hand, and it's going to come all the way through. Bottom's going to come towards the feet again, and then the head's just going to rest down onto the mat. So you should be able to feel this really high onto the tops of the shoulders. It come down so you can see me. And it's just really open up that area. If you feel like you've got a bit more wiggle room to play with, what you can do is just bring that hand up and bring that front leg all the way out. And that's just going to create a bit more stretch down the body and down the back. But if this feels a bit too tough for you, just bring that knee back in, stretch everything out. One more breath just like this. See how it feels good for you. And exhale, if you've got the knee up, just bring that knee down. Big inhale brings the hand all the way up. And on the exhale, we're just going to go on to the opposite side. So you're going to swoop all the way through. Head comes down to the side. And you might find one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. Okay. And then again, if you want that leg to come out, just bring the hand up and stretching that leg back. You can always curl the toes as well on the other foot, if that helps give you a bit more support. And just really focus on squeezing the core in that position if you feel like you get a bit wobbly. Squeezing the core is always going to focus you back in, keep you more grounded. And one last big inhale, bring that knee down, and curl the toes, got it, and coming all the way back up into our table position. If you feel like you ever want to hold these poses a bit longer, just pause the video, spend a bit more time there, and come back when you're ready. So from our table position, we're just going to move into our downward facing dog. This is really going to help release the shoulders, the tops of the arms, and also around the neck, which can get quite stiff. So I just want you to bring your hands one hand step further away from you, curl the toes, and on the inhale bring everything up into our nice inverted V. Don't worry about the heels being off the ground, it's better that way. You don't want them all the way facing, because otherwise it just means you're a bit too close. So take a nice big step out, and from here you might want to just pedal the feet. Maybe want to take them to the width of the mat. Just start to really stretch everything out. And you want to just make sure you're releasing the neck. So maybe doing some no's and some yeses. It's just going to release everything. And there's going to be 3 big breaths here. So just in your own time, big inhale. Make sure those hips are raised. And exhale. And 2 more in your own time. If this feels a bit tight for you, it's okay to come down to the knees. Maybe rest in child's pose and then come back up when you're ready. Just keep that movement though, and that's going to help you. And one last big inhale. And exhale, curling everything down to the knees. And just release into your child's pose again, just to relax. From this child's pose, we're then just going to go back into our downward facing dog, same as last time, so big inhale. Curl the toes, exhale, down into your downward dog. Just one breath here like this. Big inhale. And exhale. And then we're just going to walk those hands all the way back to meet the feet. So you can really bend those knees and just go into a very gentle forward fold. So this is all about now finding out where in the back has any issues for you, where you want to work today. So it could be you're just going to ragdoll. Just stretch it all out. If you feel like you've got a bit more wiggle room in the shoulders, you might want to bring those hands over and just have a nice shoulder opener. Just being careful if you feel like that's maybe a bit too much for you. Just listen to your own body today. If that does feel a bit much, you can always bring the hands round to the back like this. Still going to have a little bit of a shoulder opener for you. Just releasing the neck is really going to help. Just a few more breaths just like this. Everything's just nice and easy today. And from here we're just going to come halfway up, just lifting up, and then on the exhale I want you to bring the hands back down and we're going to go over to our plank pose very quickly. Your plank pose can either be with arms straight, and they're going to be directly under the shoulders, making sure that you have a nice line going all the way out from your wrists. Bottom's going to come down and you're really going to be pushing away from the mat. But if you want to, you can come down to your knees, and we can work on it this way, or down to the forearms. Either way, it's going to be very brief. So, big inhale, and exhale, bringing the knees down, and I want you just to come everything down to the mat, like this. Which is a very quick plank to get us into our cobra pose. So we'll be doing another video really shortly that will look into the plank pose a bit more. So don't worry if that didn't feel quite right today, or you want a bit more time to explore the pose. That'll probably happen next week. Okay, so for our cobra, all you want to do is start lifting the shoulders away from the mat. It's important when you first start that it's a very gentle movement, and you can still really raise the hands away from the mat and still have that very gentle back bend. Big exhale will just release everything down. So we're just going to go for 3 in whichever way feels good for you. So big inhale if you want to maybe come halfway up. And exhale, releasing you down. Just keeping those elbows right into the body. Tops of the feet pushed into the mat. Big inhale brings you up, maybe a little bit further. And exhale brings you all the way down. And then your last one, if you felt like you could today, going into a full cobra. Big inhale, opening up the chest, looking up if you can. Take a nice breath there, just releasing all the way down the back. And exhale, brings you all the way back. And then one more time, we're just going to rest in that child's pose. So bring the hands up, the knees, curl everything over. And from here, if you ever want some more room in your child's pose, if you feel like your knees and your chest are too close together, we can go into a swan pose. So for this, you're just going to open up the knees and come all the way back down. Same as in your child's pose, but there's a lot more room around the chest area. So it can feel a bit more spacious. More big, nice breath here. Inhaling all the way down to the stomach. And exhale is just going to bring you back up to your knees. Okay. So we've got 2 more moves left. And this next one is the one that you may possibly want to use a strap for, or whatever you've got hanging around. So this is going to be our cow face pose, which is a lovely name. So for this, you can either sit cross-legged if that's a bit easier for you. If you want to go into the full pose, we're just going to bring one knee round and the other knee on top, and just lifting the bottom. It's just going to stretch them both out. Okay. So for this one, we've gone for the right knee on the top, and we'll just make sure we cross over when we move to the other arm. So just move wherever feels comfortable. If that feels a bit too tight, because it's a good hip opener as well, then you can always release it a little bit more. So once you've got your knees in a nice comfortable position, we'll just involve the arms. So we're going to take the right arm, and this is going to come up and to the back, and then that left arm is going to come round to the side. And then I'll just turn around to show you what we want to be aiming for. So from here, you see that arm comes all the way up and back, and this other arm is either going to try to reach it just with the fingers. If this is too tight for you, you can either just keep it down like this, or if you wanted, you want to use your strap and just hold it like this, just to keep everything in place. And if you're using a strap as well, you've got the added bonus that you can slowly start to work up the strap as you practice and get your hands a little bit closer. But you'll get the same benefit wherever you are, so don't feel like you're not doing it to the full extent. So we're going to bring our arms up and round, just to where it's comfortable for you. Big inhale just stretches you up, really opens up the back. And the exhale, you might want to just lean forward slightly, just moving where it feels nice. Big inhale. And another time, exhale down. Inhale brings you up. And just one more time like this. Exhale lowers you all the way down. Just moving into that space. Really releasing the back. Big inhale. And then we'll release the arms. And we'll just go on to the same thing on the other side. So cross the legs on the other way. Remember to lift the bottom. You can always support your bottom as well by putting a little pillow underneath or a block if that helps. And we'll swap arms. So this arm's going to come up to the top and to the back. And this arm at the bottom. Big inhale. Brings you up. And exhale. Brings you all the way down. It might be on one side just slightly tighter than the other. That's okay. Big inhale. You might find it a bit harder to get to the same level on the other side. And exhale brings you down. And big inhale. Opening up that chest as much as you can. And last time, bring it all the way down. And bring everything up. And just release everything. Release the feet again. And we roll the shoulders back and down. One more time, just like that. And then rolling them forward, just to release everything we've worked. Great. We've got one last move, just to really work on those shoulders one last time. So something you can always do at the desk as well, this one. Nice and easy, you won't look too silly. So we'll start with one hand, so we'll start with the left hand, and it just wants to come round to the waist, so it's kind of like you're waving at your friend on the other side. And I want you to hold your hands together on this side. The hands at the back are going to stay just like this, and all we'll be doing is taking a nice inhale, and then this hand that's coming out to the side is just going to push towards the back. So it's a nice simple move, so it's just going to come round like this, and it really releases the shoulders. Okay, and you can do this on your knees or cross-legged on a chair. Just take a few nice breaths. You should really feel it working just across the tops of the shoulders. Really helps with the posture. And then just bring it out and go to the side. So hands just coming to the waist like this. Hold your own hand if you're lonely. And then big inhale, just brings that elbow back. Just a few breaths. And release when you're ready. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and there'll be another one coming next Sunday. So if there's anything particularly you'd like me to cover, just leave a comment below and I'll try and get around to it for you. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you next week. Bye!